Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends, and thanks to our presenting sponsor, the Coffee Consultants Mastermind Group by Mapper Forward. We will be starting a new Coffee Consultants Mastermind Group in July. If this is something that you would like to consider becoming a participant of, head to the show notes, click on the link, and either contact us or register to become a member of the Mastermind Group today. Today on the podcast, we are talking about auditing your workplace for its culture. This is super important right now for a number of reasons. It is difficult, as we've spoken about a lot recently on the podcast, it is difficult to attract employees to most coffee small businesses right now. One of the mitigating factors that will determine whether people do want to work for you or don't want to work for you, particularly if they are in Gen Z. I keep confusing them between Gen Z and Gen Y. But particularly if they're a part of Gen Z, one of the mitigating factors and an absolute requirement is the culture of your workplace. Now, what typically happens in our industry is that people start businesses and they focus on the equipment, they focus on the products, they focus on the fit out, and they pay very little attention to two particular things. One, a customer acquisition plan. And two, the culture of the workplace. This is it's not a superpower, but it is definitely a unique selling proposition in most cafes if you have this. It is a superpower for the leader if you're able to create a culture that people want to be a part of. Why is it a superpower? Because not enough people do it, and not enough people put enough effort into creating it. Having a culture that you have deliberately fostered in your small business is one factor that will absolutely conspire to your success as a small business. And now is the time to audit what your culture is. Now, you could go outside of your business and get a consultant to help you do this, but I want to offer you a couple of places to start so that you can see if this is something that you could perhaps tackle on your own. Now, it all starts with questions. First of all, ask yourself as the owner or as somebody who's in a workplace, what is the culture of my workplace? Whether it's been deliberately created or not, what is the culture of the workplace I am in? Now let's take it from the perspective of the small business owner. Asking yourself this question will give you a level of intentional consciousness towards the vibe, the culture of the small business that you own. Now, for small business owners who own cafes or roasteries or other businesses in the coffee industry, there are a type of owner amongst our industry who like to just have the business and leave it to be run by other people. We see this in cafes a lot. We see somebody open a cafe and it's, let's just let the staff run it. And that can be challenging because you have no control over what the boundaries are and the culture is in that workplace. And all it takes is for one slightly predatory actor to come into, not even slightly, people are not slightly predatory. People are predatory. People can be manipulative. If somebody that is steering the ship, so to speak, in your business and seems to be a great leader or can manage things to turn a profitable business, but you haven't screened that person for whether they're a predatory person, they may be cultivating a very dangerous workplace culture. Now, that can happen whether you're present in the business or not. But if you're not present in the business and you're not asking these questions, this may be very well happening without you realizing. So I would invite you to ask yourself this very important question. What is the culture of my workplace? And why? I mean, it sounds like a very obvious question to be asking, but it's not something that a lot of people in our industry ask. 20 years in the coffee industry, 15 of them spent in the Australian coffee industry, and I cannot remember a single employer that ever spoke to me about the culture of the cafe. And when I ask my colleagues that came up with me in the industry, they say the same thing. And now when I talk to people, they believe that they need to start focusing on it, but they don't know how. So starting by understanding what the culture is in your workplace is a very powerful place to start. Once you've answered that question, what would you change about the culture in your workplace so that you can get to what you want it to be, which is the next question. What do you want your workplace culture to be? So those three questions, what is my workplace culture? What would I change about it? And what do I want my workplace culture to be, are an incredible deep dive and thought experiment for you about your business. Because if you're unaware of what the culture is of your workplace, as a small business owner, things could be going on that you're unaware of. People may be unhappy for reasons that you're unaware of. People may be happy for reasons that you're unaware of. And in a climate where people have the luxury of making decisions outside of the usual scope, things outside of like paying people more money may not be what the workforce is looking for right now. And it's not, because wages are rising across the board. So if you can't compete on wage, you've got to compete on things like creating a great culture. Just something to think about. This workforce situation isn't going to resolve itself anytime soon, in my opinion. I hope that I'm wrong. But if it's not, you're going to have to increase your game as a business owner in what you've got to offer. I hope this has been helpful, friends. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're listening to it or if you're watching it on YouTube. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.